Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com. Now, a few videos ago, I did a little chat about this really particularly appalling press release that I received from Decca about a quasi-classical single issued by composer Benjamin Gustafsson called She is Poetry. And it wasn't so much that the music was awful. The music was just anodyne, sort of music for elevators, pap. But the press release was written with such extraordinary doublespeak and poor grammar and just wackiness that I had to read it to you. And I said, well, okay, there it was. And some of you wrote back and said, oh my God, it's the end of civilization. It's just terrible. It was funny, first of all. But second of all, it was really, really bad stuff. And in case you were thinking it couldn't get worse, I'm back because 2 days later, Decca and Deutsche Grammophon and Universal sent me two press releases, two of them, that, if anything, made that look like child's play. And I'm not kidding. Wait till you hear this one. This concerns Max Richter. You know Max Richter, the guy who recomposed Vivaldi's Four Seasons and who just sort of attaches himself like a limpet or a leech to some classic, and then gussies it up and gets promoted like crazy. And I'm sure he's making lots of money. And I don't know, people I guess listen to it. Don't ask me why, but there he is, Max Richter. And this is what's coming. You ready? Are you ready for this, folks? Okay, here we go. This is from Decca. Max Richter presents the new Four Seasons. In other words, he has parasitically, he has parasitized himself, his own previous Four Seasons. How? Wait a minute. Listen to this. This is just gonna blow your minds. I was flabbergasted. Ready? Here we go. A decade on from the release of his mesmerizing Recomposed album, Trailblazing. Trailblazing? What trail is he blazing? What does he do except screw with other people's music? That's trailblazing? Don't get me started. All right. Trailblazing composer Max Richter returns to the sound world of Vivaldi's Four Seasons. Recorded with violinist Elena Oriosti, or Oriost, whatever her name is, and the musicians of the Chinecki Orchestra. I don't like names that you can't pronounce. It's Chinecki Orchestra. The new Four Seasons is a new version of Richter's Recomposed for period instruments with gut strings and vintage synthesizers used to create a, quote, grittier, more punk rock sound, unquote. Where do we begin? How do we begin? He has recomposed Vivaldi Recomposed by putting it on period instruments with a period synthesizer. So you've got double authenticity. You've got Vivaldi's own instruments. You've got a period synthesizer. There was never a performance with a period synthesizer that we could go back to. I mean, and to give it a grittier, more punk rock sound. I mean, the cognitive dissonance in this one paragraph is such as to, I think, render one comatose. I mean, let's hear that paragraph again. Recorded with violinist Elena Oriosti and the musicians of Chinecki Orchestra, the new Four Seasons is a new version of Richter's Recomposed for period instruments with gut strings and vintage synthesizers to create a, quote, grittier, more punk rock sound, unquote. According to Max, quote, it's the difference between smooth peanut butter and crunchy peanut butter, unquote. A limited number of exclusive signed color vinyl editions are still available at Center Stage Store. And now you want to order the signed edition. It's orange. The LP is orange. This is for an LP, by the way. I mean, what can we say about this? I was so flabbergasted by the vintage synthesizer, Vivaldi's authentic synthesizer, that I had to see the second press release, which was longer. This one came from Deutsche Grammophon, and it reads as follows. Max Richter returns to Vivaldi's masterpiece 10 years after Recomposed. Acclaimed composer returns with the new Four Seasons out today. Groundbreaking work, reimagined. It's the same crap. Reimagined on period instruments with new collaborators, Chineke! Orchestra, and soloist Elena Oriosti. Well, now this is a very long press release. I'm not reading it all because it will make you crazy. But I'll just do a couple paragraphs so you get a taste of it. A decade on from the release of his mesmerizing Recomposed album, Trailblazing composer Max Richter returns to the sound world of Vivaldi's Four Seasons. Okay, this is the paragraph we knew. Synthesizers, whatever. Okay, fine. Next. Released in summer 2012, Richter's genre-defining recomposition of a Baroque masterpiece. What genre did it define? I don't know. Masterpiece topped the classical charts in 22 countries. Oh dear. Taking a work he had once loved, but which he felt had lost its impact through overexposure, the composer embarked on what he has referred to as, quote, a personal salvage mission, unquote. Oh my God, the hubris makes you want to barf, doesn't it? And wove Vivaldi's musical DNA into something fresh and exciting. His global bestseller has amassed over 450 million streams, including 110 million streams for Spring One. Spring One, I guess, is Spring by Vivaldi. As Richter's overall career streams continue to grow to over 3 billion. Well, all I can say is good for him. I mean, it's in pop music. It's let's see. Recomposed continues to attract new listeners through its use in the soundtracks of hit TV series, including Bridgerton and The Crown. I thought it was The Clown. No, the Clown is Richter, but this is The Crown, which together saw streams for Spring One triple after the shows aired. It has also been featured in My Brilliant Friend, Chef's Table, Orphan Black, and The Current War. It is a frequent choice for concert repertoire in venues around the world, not to mention a favorite of dancers, ice skaters, actors, filmmakers, fashion designers, and more. Spring One is a personal favorite of Olympic swimmer Adam Peaty, as well as Christine and the Queens, who described it as, quote, the best song ever to fall in love to, unquote, and Diddy, who called it his, quote, theme music, unquote. It was also recently featured at the Met Gala 2022 with Rihanna and Vogue magazine, both posting on Instagram and amassing over 17 million views. Spring One has now amassed over 160 million views on TikTok, and both the original and new versions have reached new peaks. The U.S. Billboard Top 200 Classical Tracks chart in recent weeks have reached new peaks. The U.S. That's a typo. Have reached new peaks the U.S. Billboard Top 200 Classical Tracks chart in recent weeks. Okay, so there you go, with its fabulous original synthesizer. Richter has revisited the electronics too, here opting for Moog synths from the 70s, quote, the equivalent of the Stradivarius, unquote. Asked about the difference in sound, well, then he talks about peanut butter again, and we have always heard about peanut butter. I don't need to read anymore. I am completely, what can I say? I know I'm antediluvian. I know I'm an elitist. Call me a snob. I'm completely out of touch with popular culture. I assume that the labels that are doing this are making a fortune. I assume that Richter is making a fortune. I assume that by talking about it, I am promoting it. I am drinking the poisoned Kool-Aid and talking about it and doing at least some of their job for them. Although if it really 3 billion people are downloading or streaming, then I guess what I do is irrelevant anyway. So I just making the point. But my God, here we have a composer in quotation marks, who has borrowed something from somebody else and then has reborrowed the something he borrowed to redo it in authentic instruments with an authentic synthesizer because it's crunchier. I'm done. I'm just done. I'm so done. Keep on listening, folks. If you like your music crunchy, give it a shot. What can I say? I'm done. I'm done. It's over. Bye.